What's castle lore without myths, legends, and romance? Liebenstein, pictured here, has a neighboring castle named Sterenberg just feet away. There is a coral stone wall that separates these two. The story starts when a widowed father, Warner, is living in Sterenberg with his two sons, Henry and Conrad. At some point, a girl named Angela lives with the three. The two boys constantly fight over her affection, both madly in love with Angela, who has more of a liking towards Conrad. What splits this group up is when Conrad is sent on a crusade that lasts several years. Meanwhile, the castle you see pictured, Liebenstein, is built for the new family branch, whether that be for Henry or Conrad, whoever has a family first. Years later, Conrad finally returns, but not by himself. Standing with him is his new lover, a woman who helped him escape prison in Greece. Conrad had assumed Angela married his brother. Angela, on the other hand, was madly in love with Conrad, so she planned to just wait upon his return. Henry, knowing this, grew great resentment towards his brother over the years, and since their father had passed away at this point, there was no voice of reason to settle this. Angela, heartbroken and disappointed from losing a father figure and a lover, ends up leaving the residence and becomes a nun. The two brothers constantly fight and eventually move into separate castles. Henry would eventually find a wife, and Conrad would be the one who built the coral wall, which stands today. And what you see here is what remains from the centuries-old story. But it's not just castles that possess these myths on the Rhine, but also the river itself. Lorelei is said to be a beautiful siren that hangs out near a cliff overlooking the river. She's described as having beautiful golden hair and an irresistible singing voice, which is so enchanting that sailors lose control of their ships and crash into rocks, resulting in their death. Her story was popularized in the early 1800s. There have been songs, paintings, and countless stories about Lorelei, the Siren of the Rhine. And here is Rhinestein. It's not tied to folk tales like Liebenstein or Lorelei. What makes it legendary is what it symbolizes. Once a ruin on the river, Rhinestein rose again in the 1800s, not as a fortress, but as a fantasy. It was rebuilt as a monument to everything the 19th century longed to believe about the medieval past. And for the wine lovers out there, the residence has a 500-year-old grapevine that still produces wine.